This video was filmed and edited by Bartlett Production. Alright guys, thanks for joining me on another video. Today we're going to be knocking out a nice little realistic wolf with a rose and some daisies. Kind of like a mix-up style of something realistic with something a little less realistic. It's going to be really fun. Been looking forward to this one for a little while. And I've been doing a lot of like animal style, like fur textures and portrait style stuff lately. So I have a good feeling this one's going to turn out really cool. So thanks for joining me. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably good, right? I think that's gonna wrap quite a bit, so that's why I was thinking maybe we'd put this one kind of in the front and this would like fall on the side like that.
Yeah.
What do you think? Or did you want to go smaller?
Maybe just a little.
Yeah, we could go a little smaller, so it kind of, like I said, I didn't know how big or small your leg was gonna end up being, but let's try it one size smaller. Alright, cool. If you want to check that out. Right. Is that a little better, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other one might have wrapped a little too much. And we'll try to get this face kind of like, not dead center in the front, but like 3/4, you know, like that. And then this just fall where it falls. Do you have any other tattoos? Or?
Yeah.
That's cool. Are they smaller or do you have any big ones?
No big ones.
Okay, cool.
First
Decided to go big this time?
Yep.
That's cool. You nervous at all?
A little bit.
Yeah. It's all good though. It's normal, right? It'd be weird if you weren't nervous, probably. Right? This machine, it's pretty quiet and it's pretty like soft hitting and stuff too, so people are usually like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It's still painful though, you know?
Yeah.
It's never gonna get away from that totally, but
Right.
I try to do whatever I can to like make it as efficient as I can for people, as painless as possible, but some spots just hurt.
Right.
Just gonna put a bunch of this on there. It's gonna help me transfer over the pattern on your skin. So why the wolf and the flowers? Any particular reason?
Kinda. I mean, kind of think of like loyalty and family and stuff like that. So, my inner she-wolf.
Right, like the wolf pack and how they like stick together.
Yep.
That's cool. I think it's a good idea. I really like doing animals and flowers. They're like my favorite stuff to do, so it fits me perfectly. I'm gonna place it like maybe like in between the front and the side, kind of.
Okay.
Your leg is small, so it makes the tattoo look even bigger than it really is. Sometimes it's a cool effect like that. Like my buddy, I started a back piece on him. He's not very big, so like the whole thing was like 2 pages big. You know, normally it's like 3 or 4. Cool. Anyone that has 3 kids, I don't really worry about pain with.
Yeah. After 3 kids, my pain tolerance is a little higher.
Right. Kinda has to be. It's cool to like not do a cover up sometimes. A lot of times that's what I'm doing. It's cool to just have some fresh skin to work on sometimes. Animals are a powerful symbology in tattooing. I love doing animal portraits because they all represent people in different ways. Like the wolf, it's a really powerful statement. It's a symbol of guardianship and loyalty, intelligence, freedom, social connection. It's about, being able to demonstrate all that in a balanced manner while trusting your instinct, your heart, and your mind. In Percy Waters, there was like learning how to tattoo out of carnivals and stuff, and then he opened a shop in Detroit and had also like a supply shop there. And that was like before people were really selling tattoo supplies at all, like anywhere. And then he was also the one that like took the patented version of the tattoo machine and like changed it into like the modern version of what it is today, basically. Like added the second coil next to it. It was like the turn of like the industrial era or whatever, so they're inventing all kinds of stuff. And Thomas Edison actually invented the first tattoo machine without even knowing he did. It was like a machine that copied handwriting for documents, so it would step through the paper and like go to the next side or whatever. Another guy took that, Sam O'Reilly took that and changed that into a machine, and then Percy Waters took it from there or whatever, changed it into a more modern machine. I watched this whole documentary about circuses and shit. It made me really interested in that time period. Entertainment during that time period was hella different, That's kind of what this was considered then. It wasn't even like a form of art, really. It was like a form of entertainment. I think it's super important, especially to like portraits or anything black and gray, realistic. Like that shit all came from prison guys, because they had a little bit of tools, like a single needle and black ink. So they came up with a whole style out of that or whatever. And I was wondering, like, when did they start using machines in there versus hand poking shit too, And there's nothing discovered about that yet. The wolf is a very instinctual animal, and that's the case. Like that's what it symbolizes. And we frame the wolf off with some wildflowers, and I always like doing flowers. And it's generally flowers symbolize similar things like purity, wisdom. And I do like to just consider those kind of things whenever I'm designing a tattoo. Every tattoo is meaningful, whether you want it to or not. It's going to symbolize something to people. Part of that is like how well done it is, and part of that is how well thought out that is. I just think that you're going to like your tattoo much longer if you have some meaning behind it than if you just get it because you think it looks pretty cool or something. I'm just quick too though, and I always feel like I could have took longer on every tattoo basically that I do. Talking to more tattoo artists all the time, I realize that's like pretty common. We're always like our own worst critic. My process for tattooing anything that is in the realistic realm like this, anytime I'm doing an animal, it's always starts with a really good piece of reference, and I'm always like trying to work with a picture from real life. That way I could try to imitate something real as much as possible. Sometimes you could find like a really good realistic painting too, and you could use that as a reference, but I like to just find something that I know matches my skill set the best. And so a big portion of a realistic tattoo is just going on a search for a really good piece of reference, and not only making it a good piece of reference, but like an original one that isn't going to be just like the same animal picture that everybody uses. If you just Google bear, you're going to see the same bear, and like a lot of people have done it, and I've even done it. Everybody's done it. So but after a while you kind of you can't just do the same animal over and over again and feel like satisfied about it. So that's part of like the process for me, is finding something, some way of like giving everybody something really unique and one of a kind. I do spend a good portion of my time studying different styles. My goal is to do a certain style of a tattoo. I'm going to spend a lot of time kind of thinking about that style. So my focus over the last year or so has been this realism stuff, and I've taken a lot of seminars on it and things like that, and I've really switched up my process on this. I don't get to do a lot of back pieces as a tattoo artist, because people, they'll like stop getting tattooed halfway through it, or get it finished by somebody else because they move out of state. I think done me a huge benefit. You had to always put yourself around other people that can make you grow or push you to learn more. So as they say, iron sharpens iron. So you want to put yourself around the best people possible if you want to get better at something. And I still think I got ways to go, because I compare myself to the best people in the world, but I know that I'm on my way, because every day I'm just putting in some practice, whether it's on paper or digitally or on skin or whatever. This is my focus. My only focus really in life is just to be the best artist I could be. And sometimes, you know, you get caught up in comparing yourself with others, and I think that's a mistake too. Not to do that too much, you know. You have to have some of that, but to know where the bar is. But I think the key too is just to really be focused on being the best you possible, not trying to be somebody else. My client for this episode, she was pretty quiet, which is cool. It's not as common for me. Usually I get to talk to people quite a bit, but sometimes people are a little bit more quiet. Sometimes it's the pain that affects them, or sometimes if we have the camera going, that can change the dynamic a little bit. I'm just gonna color in these flowers though, and then good to go. Looks pretty sweet though.
Yeah.
Sweet. So I'm just gonna kind of rotate a little bit again that way, and then I can color these in. This part won't take very long. I'm gonna do them real kind of soft shaded. I think it's cool too sometimes to, you know, just have that kind of client and just be able to focus completely on the tattoo and not have to carry a conversation. But I'm pretty good at that too, so that doesn't bother me. Like, I really actually enjoy a nice conversation. It kind of like makes the time go. So I ended up just talking to my videographer quite a bit for this one. The tattoo, I believe, you know, I had like a little more maybe focus on the process, and maybe that made it go a little faster because we got this tattoo done pretty quick, and from what I can remember it was like probably like 3 hours or something. I think my favorite part of this tattoo, and any animal tattoo I usually do, is the eyes. I think it's the part of the portrait that really brings the animal to life, and it shows its soul, you know, so that's always my favorite part, and something that I try to take my time on. I'm using the Zion FK Irons rotary pen to tattoo with, and it's been a really good machine for me. Lately I just switched to the Cheyenne Hawk needle cartridges, and those have been the best ones that I've used. I've used quite a few different ones, so if you're looking for really good equipment as far as cartridges and machines go, those are what I use, and that's what I suggest. And of course, I'm always using the brightest and best colors on the market, and that's Eternal Ink. I'm not sponsored by them or anybody, but I really believe in good products, and I always try to tell people invest in your equipment and in the things that you're putting into people's skin for the rest of their life. You should be trying to get the best things possible for that. So invest in your equipment and invest in your supplies. Alright guys, so that's it. Really appreciate you joining us for this video again. I really love doing this style of tattoo, so if you really enjoyed this video, you like the process, you like the art that I'm doing, and the way that I do it, message me and we could get started by setting you up with a free in-person consultation. That's where we can meet one-on-one. I'll talk about your idea, and we can start piecing together like how we're going to go about it. Then from there I just usually take a deposit. We choose a day, and then it's about 8 to 12 weeks until you get your tattoo. So that's a wrap for the day. Thank you again.